Hey y'all, I'm just over here messing with my little dumpling, my little baby girl. Thank you guys so much for coming back and tuning back into another episode of The Real Combo. Hi, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And yes, I guess you guys can finally see that I am here to give you guys the complete breakdown of the entire Cassie Ventura and P. Diddy Sean Diddy Combs lawsuit. No noise. Sit down. Go in your room. Being hard headed. Just one moment, guys. Hold on. Go in your room. And I beat your nose. Okay, so as you guys can tell by the title, we are. Hold on, just one moment, y'all, because y'all know I'm a mama and my daughter is over here playing. So because she over here playing, I'm gonna have to put y'all on hold for a little bit because she's sitting up here playing with me. Okay, so I'm back. As stated, as you guys can see by the title in the title of the video, we are going to go through the entire 30 plus pages in Cassie Ventura's complaint that she filed against Mr. Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy Do It, Brother Love Combs. It's 11 o'clock my time. I don't know what time it is where you guys are at, but baby, I just washed my face. And now it's time for the moisturization. I already toned it. So what's y'all skincare routine? Where y'all at? I mean, where y'all at with y'all skincare routine? Because there go my little, just a quick little one. Just, not a major one. Just a quick little skincare of the routinage. I'm just going to give YouTube time to send you guys out notifications so that we can get into this together. I have the lawsuit pulled up over here. So we're going to go in here. What I want to do is I would like for you guys to read along with me as I go. So I'm going to get my glasses because no. That's torture trying to read all these pages without glasses on. Okay, so I'm back. I would not be able to get through this whole entire 35 pages of this lawsuit. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm coming. I have technical difficulties.
That's it?
That's, yes. Just one moment, guys. I'm making sure I pull up the correct documents, okay? So if you guys could just be a little patient with me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much again. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Real Convo. Thank you guys. You know what? And I do also want to take right now to say thank you to the guys, to the people who have been coming to my channel. Let me show you guys my face. Thank you to everyone that has supported me, that has subscribed, and that has come to my channel and watched my videos. I really want to take this time out to tell you guys thank you, and that I really, really appreciate you guys watching and just supporting the Real Convo. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Just one moment. I'm working on a couple of things. I'm getting all the documents up, and I have to get my tongue ready to sit there and read 35 pages, y'all. I mean, Cassie was not playing. That is, what's your code on your phone?
0130.
Cassie wasn't playing, and so was Mr. Rod Jones's attorney. Was 0130. That's not it.
Yes, it is.
I don't want to do it again before it lock it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do it.
Yes, the year and the month when I was born.
Okay.
And my birthday.
Malia, go sit down.
0130.
Okay, so as you guys can see, there is this lawsuit. Look at girl, this lawsuit, ladies and gentlemen, is a is 35 pages. 35 pages long. The lawsuit that Rod Jones filed, 80 pages. 70 something pages, almost 80 pages. Those other three lawsuits, I don't know. I don't even really know the victims' names. I'm gonna do a little bit more research, and I'm gonna go and pull those lawsuits up, and we just gonna go through all of P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love, Sean Diddy Combs' lawsuits. That's what we're gonna do over here at the Real Convo. And we are going to start with this one in particular. As you guys can see, it says it gives you guys a trigger warning. This document contains highly graphic information of a blank nature, including blank. YouTube censors, so all of the words on here you guys can see them. So you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to be saying certain words. So yeah, okay. So the plaintiff is, of course, Cassie, hereby alleges as and for her complaint against defendant, who would be Sean Combs, Mr. Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, Epic Records, Combs Enterprises, LLC, Endo Corporation, 1 through 10, together, Defendant Corporation, and together with Mr. Combs, defendant as follows. Here's the preliminary statement that the attorney submitted. Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive popularly known by his stage names Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or Diddy. Mr. Combs came to fame in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy Records. He rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly referred to as a hip hop mogul. I'm live. That that's that outlet. I'm sorry, y'all. I had some technical difficulties. Forgive me. We're going to get it together. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. Y'all don't be mad at me. Okay, so let's keep going. So they tells us that Mr. Combs came to his fame in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy Records. We all know about them. He rose to prominence in the music entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly referred to as a hip hop mogul. Okay, in 2022, Mr. Combs received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. During his acceptance speech, Mr. Combs stated, "I have to give a special shout out, thank you, love to the a special shout out, thank you, love to the people that was really there for me." He named a number of people before adding, "And also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times, love." Now, I have already read this lawsuit, so I already know what the dark times consisted of that he's thanking her for. P. Diddy, you a sick man because you know exactly what you put this woman through. You got up on BET and accepted this Lifetime Achievement Award and gonna say to this lady on national TV, thank you to her for supporting me and holding me down during your dark times. The stuff you did to that woman because you were in a dark place, she should have been sued your ass. Because the people, y'all finna understand what the hell his silly ass is talking about. Okay, let me keep going. The truth, however, is that Cassandra Ventura was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking, among other violent and unlawful acts, Mr. Combs. Now, they finna tell us, among other violent and unlawful acts, that Mr. Combs raped Miss Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him. Often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on Miss Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested. Listen to what they said. He blew up somebody's whole car after he learned that they was romantically interested. Not that they were together. The dude was just interested because somebody showed her interest. He blew up somebody's entire car. Okay. Forced Miss Ventura to engage in acts with male ex-workers while masturbating and filming the encounters. You sick son of a bitch. You a sick bitch, Diddy. You let all that money go buy you a porn tape. Go subscribe to OnlyFans. Why do you okay, let me keep going. Ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive who he learned was nearby. Demanded that Miss Ventura carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, and introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in 2005 when she was 19 years old and he was 37 years old. He signed her to his label, Bad Boy Records, and within a few years, lured Miss Ventura into an ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle, and into a romantic relationship with him. Her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man, nearly 2 decades her senior, Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Ms. Ventura's personal and professional life, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. He provided unprecedented avenues for success for this aspiring artist, but in return demanded obedience, loyalty, and silence. I don't know if you guys watch that show that comes on the All Black Network. What is it called where they be saying obedience? That little X trafficking ring, you know, the one where Liam play on there from Soul Food. No, with the twins, the two twins, the girl and the boy, they double cross. Okay, on that TV show that comes on All Black, double cross. you know that show is about a ex trafficking ring that's being ran, right? And I always hear on that show, the madam over the ring, she always saying, obedience, child, obedience, obedience. So I do believe these because they tell us on several of the shows that we're seeing that's showing you all this cultish behavior and this ex trafficking. Even with the what is the one with Tyler Perry, Ruthless, and the way that the what do they call that man, the God, the Jesus, whatever he is, the all high, the most high. Oh, complete obedience. Obedience. So, Diddy, you got up here with these billionaires that you seen running ex trafficking rings, and you seen how they were treating people, and you brought it over in your own relationship, and you started to treat this woman like this. It's something wrong with you. It really is, because I don't. Okay, hold on, because I keep going. We got 30 pages to get through. We only on 3. So let me read through this lawsuit because this is crazy. Number 6, throughout their relationship, Mr. Combs was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat Miss Ventura savagely. These beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Mr. Combs' related businesses, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and furious boss. Following these episodes of horrific abuse, Mr. Combs would immediately attempt to hide Miss Ventura and the evidence of his violent rage. He often showered her with gifts following incidents of physical violence, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. In addition to the physical assaults, Mr. Combs frequently reminded Miss Ventura of his ability to cause serious harm, whether by requiring her to carry his gun in her purse or by blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. Adding insult to injury, Mr. Combs used illegal substances and threats of violence to force Miss Ventura into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male ex-workers. Over the years that Mr. Combs abused Miss Ventura physically and both sexually, she again and again tried to escape his tight hold over her life. Every time she hid, Mr. Combs' vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found her, and those who worked for Mr. Combs' companies implored her to return to him. Many went as far as to explicitly state that her failure to return to Mr. Combs would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. Now, when this lawsuit first came out and was filed, there was a mammy in the back. There was a male identified mammy in the back. You know, a pick me black African American. Pick me. I want that black king over there. When we're not even the black king's freaking preference. Diddy has not dated an African American woman since Kim Porter, and we all seen how that went. Okay, this man, you're not even his preference, mammy, and I'm talking about Tisha Campbell's sister. I cannot think of Tisha Campbell's sister name. She's the chick that played the character in the first movie Friday when she said, who the fuck is that bitch? Get that bitch to do it. Tell that bitch to give you the 200. That bitch, you know, the one that played with the long blonde braids and the red nails when the crackhead walked up to the car trying to borrow Craig car keys or something. And she said, who is that bitch? Tell that her. That's Tisha Campbell's real sister. She gets on Instagram and immediately victim shames Cassie and says that, well, when I was young and stuff like that happened to me, I was at an age where I couldn't defend myself. But best believe when I got to the age where I could defend myself, I said no me no, and I left. Girl, shut the fuck up, because that's not how that works. This man is a whole billionaire. Did you see? You were so busy being a mammy and a pick me in the background, a male identified mammy that like black men that we're not even their preference anymore, baby. Because you know, once they get past $100,000, we not the fucking preference no more. They want them a non-black bitch with them. Y'all hoes know that. Y'all know these niggas don't stick with us. I ain't taking up for these non-black identifying. I want to marry a non-black woman ass niggas. Fuck them. Let all them non-black women that was at them yacht parties. Why can't they be the ones to stand up and be the man in the background? You got to be the first black bitch in the background to say all that. That was so stupid. You didn't even read this lawsuit, because had you read this lawsuit, you would have read that this man affiliates and companies and entities, every time she hid, they will find her. I love you too, stinking blood. You hungry? You hungry? You want some oatmeal? You want some oatmeal? Okay, go tell Granny you're hungry. Hush, hush, hush. That is not your cue to make up noise. Go sit down until grandmother makes it. Go. She finna make it. Go sit down and wait for your oatmeal. Go sit down and wait for your oat. Go sit down and wait for your oatmeal. Go sit down and wait for your oatmeal. Go sit down. Stop spraying that perfume. Malia, hush it. Hush it.
I need my comfort when I leave.
Okay. I'm so sorry about that, baby. The kids had just jumped me real fast. They came through her real fast and just jumped me. Every time they see me doing something, then they all of a sudden become hungry and everything else. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to tend to my babies. Now, where did we leave out there? Okay. So I was making the point that I don't understand how she could have came out and made those type of comments. I understand why now, because she never read the lawsuit. Because if she read the lawsuit, she would have clearly read number 10, where Cassie is stating every time she heard from P. Diddy, his vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found this woman. And those who worked for Mr. Combs' company implored her to return to him and threatened her with her career. When she believed that she had finally separated from her long time abuser, she joined Mr. Combs for a dinner, after which he forced her into her home and raped her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. So after they was broke up, some kind of way he convinced her to go to dinner with him. She did. You took the lady back home, and you a sick man, Diddy. Miss Ventura has now fully escaped Mr. Combs, but the harm that the assaults and sexual abuse he caused her to experience for nearly a decade will forever haunt her. I imagine it would. I mean, that goes without saying. I imagine that would haunt her. Let's get through it, guys. Hold on. She has required intensive medical and psychological care to recover from the trauma she lived through. She cannot, however, continue to live in silence about what she endured. Mr. Combs remains immensely powerful and immensely dangerous. Ms. Ventura therefore seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her with threats of violence, excessive use of drugs, physical and psychological abuse, and actual slavery. God dog. She didn't just say actual traffic. She said he slaved her actually. Wow. Accordingly, Ms. Ventura brings this action seeking injunctive declaratory and monetary relief against defendants in violation of federal ex-trafficking laws. And then this right here are all of the violations of the ex-trafficking laws according to, I guess, the state of New York, because I see NYC all through here. So these are the federal trafficking laws. And the attorney is telling us that these are the actions that she's seeking injunctive, declaratory, and monetary relief from, according to these different statutes that will allow her to receive monetary gain. So these are the different codes and statutes, I guess. Jurisdiction and venue. The court has jurisdiction pursuant to 28 U.S.C. And it's just telling us where the jurisdiction and venue is, as the action asserts violations and therefore raises federal questions regarding the deprivation of plaintiffs' rights. The court has supplemental jurisdiction over plaintiffs' related claims arising under state and city pursuant to 28 U.S.C. Pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1391B, revenue is proper in the court because a substantial part of the events of omissions giving rise to this action, including the unlawful employment practices and intentional and negligent torturous conduct alleged herein, occurred this district. And then the parties. Plaintiff Cassandra Ventura is a resident of the states of California and Connecticut and was employed by defendants Bad Boy Records, LLC, and Bad Boy Entertainment and related entities. Defendant Sean Combs, upon information and relief, resides within the state of California. At all relevant times herein, Mr. Combs met the definition of an employer of plaintiff under all relevant statutes. Defendant Bad Boy Entertainment is a music, media, and entertainment company founded by defendant Sean Combs, which includes the record label Defendant Bad Boy Records, LLC. At all relevant times, defendant was an employer of plaintiff within the meaning of all applicable statutes. Defendant Bad Boy Records, LLC is a Delaware limited liability company with a principal place of business located in New York, New York. At all relevant times, defendant was an employer of plaintiff within the meaning of all applicable statutes. So, baby, they is showing you how each one of these companies that she's suing that he's affiliated with and he has any ownership and stock with, baby, that attorney is showing you, oh, no, you cannot say that you're not affiliated with this company. So we ain't trying to hear it when it's time to pay out that you ain't got the money. Because all these 100 million companies you affiliated with, Mr. Brother Love, P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, oh, you got the money. So this is what they're doing right now. Let's read through. They just showing you how he's affiliated with all these companies. Defendant Epic Records is a New York-based record label owned by Sony Music Entertainment. Sony Music Entertainment. She's suing defendant Epic Records is a New York-based record label owned by Sony Music Entertainment, a subsidiary of Sony Corporation of America. At all relevant times, defendant was an employer of plaintiff within the meaning of all applicable statutes. Defendant Combs Enterprises, LLC, is a New York limited liability company. At all relevant times, defendant was an employer of plaintiff within the meaning of all. So it's just telling us that he was definitely an employee for all these 10 corporations. Okay, now factual allegations. Now we get to the factual allegations part of the lawsuit. Y'all hold on to y'all seats. I'm not sure if y'all ready to see and or hear this, but hold on to y'all's seats. Can somebody let me know in the comments? Are you guys able to fully see the lawsuit, or is it good enough for you guys that I'm reading the lawsuit out to you guys? Are you guys able to fully see it? Or, can somebody type in the comments and let me know? If somebody decides to type in the comments and let me know, I'll come back. And if not, I will adjust the size. But hopefully you guys can see it. If not, hopefully me reading it aloud for you guys helps, okay? And by the way, if you appreciate me sitting here reading this aloud for you, I do accept Cash App. My Cash App is $DaRealConvo. And as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put that in here. And then people can send you cash apps if they want to. They can cash app you. Like your guests, if they want to cash app you and send you a tip if they really enjoy the show and they just want to give you a tip, like, oh, here you go. Yeah, they can cash app you. Yeah, you can ask your guests to cash app you. You know, like if they really enjoy your commentary that much, you can ask them to cash app you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people do. I've seen it on other people's channels. So hopefully that's good enough for you guys to see it. So we're just gonna keep moving forward, okay? Let me get back over here to the lawsuit. Okay. Now this is the factual allegations. Number one, teenage Miss Ventura meets middle-aged Mr. Combs as her career begins. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in late 2005 or early 2006. After Mr. Combs heard Miss Ventura's first single playing in a club and expressed interest in signing her to his label, Bad Boy Records. At this time, Miss Ventura was 19 years old. Mr. Combs was 37 years old. So 20, that's what, 29, 39. That's an 18-year difference. So that was 18 years difference in age that he had over her. And let's just face it, at 19 years old, most people still have a kid's brain. You have not went through enough life experiences yet at 19 years old to deal with a 37-year-old man. Within months, in February 2006, Miss Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Mr. Combs' record label. 10 albums. Oh, you could tell this baby didn't have any legal representation. 10 freaking albums. 10 albums. That's the kind of stuff Nicki Minaj want to do to these new girls. Have them in the upside down deals that makes no sense for a record, for an artist to produce within months. In February 2006, Miss Ventura signed a 10 million deal, 10 album deal with Mr. Combs' record label. Miss Ventura's first album, Cassie, was released in 2006, debuting at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard 200. To promote the album, Miss Ventura made television appearances on MTV's Total Request Live and BET's 106 in Park. Miss Ventura suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Miss Ventura's performances on these shows. Mr. Combs, however, sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent, telling MTV News, "You could hear the nervousness. You could hear the nervousness in her voice. And to be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous. It made me appreciate that she got nervous. And it was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you've got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's just so huge. And sometimes everybody handles it. Hold on, y'all, because hold on. Wait a minute. Let me do something real fast. Hold on. There, so I had to pause for a minute. Okay. So if I'm reading this correctly, are they saying that this is what Diddy thought when he seen that she was nervous during her MTV performances and several performances, that he seen that she was nervous and they let him know that she was a regular person, and that's what this man is sick. Hold on, because y'all think, wait a minute, let's go through it again. It says, you could hear the nervousness in her voice. And to be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her.
It's for your academy. I just $200.
It's on that one.
It ain't on that.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, please. Hey, I am so sorry, y'all. The name of the channel is The Real. So in real life, I'm really a mother. In real life, I really have shit to do. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not one of them commercialized channels where I'm just not. At least not yet. At least not yet. I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm just not a commercialized channel. Again, I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Okay. So there we go. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having so many difficulties, but we're gonna get through this. Okay, so she's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous, and it was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you've got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's just so huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently. Mm-mm-mm. While clearly paternalistic and nothing that it was cute, and noting that it was cute to him how regular Miss Ventura appeared, Mr. Combs' comments ranged true to some extent. Upon signing with Bad Boy Records, Miss Ventura was quickly thrust into the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. Mr. Combs' recognition and glorification of Miss Ventura's not naive proved to set the groundwork for his manipulative and, and coercive romantic and actual relationship with Miss Ventura, a woman nearly 2 decades his junior. Within a year of signing with Bad Boy Records, Mr. Combs became deeply entrenched in Miss Ventura's life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and her personal life. In November 2006, Mr. Combs invited Miss Ventura to perform his song Come to Me along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, Mr. Combs walked around in a robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his label's newly signed artist. During hair and makeup leading up to the performance, Miss Ventura's hairstylist and Mr. Combs' makeup artist told Miss Ventura that Mr. Combs was interested in Miss Ventura. Miss Ventura shrugged off the gossip and, in fact, expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and the president of the record label. Okay, because he was 20 years her senior, so she was like, girl, I ain't into that. Emphasizing the age and power dynamic early on in her working relationship, Mr. Combs positioned himself as a father figure and protector of Miss Ventura. By way of example, after returning to New York after a trip to Las Vegas, during which she endured a brief hospital stay, Miss Ventura, who by then was fully healthy, went out to a club with her friends. When Mr. Combs saw her out, he reprimanded her, telling her to go home and take care of herself. At this time, Miss Ventura thought that her record label was looking out for her well-being and that Mr. Combs had her best interest in mind. So you seen this girl at a party enjoying herself, being a 19-year-old young lady, making mistakes they 19-year-olds make. She was just now getting into the industry, finally start making a little piece of change. So she decides to go out and enjoy herself. And so what you do is you probably had somebody at that club to tell you when she got there. So you tell a girl to go home like you reprimanding her like you her daddy. Yeah, he did. He inserted dominance over her life. He did. If he did all this the way that this lawsuit is saying, if these things are true, well, they are true. In my opinion, he said that the shit was true because he said that this within 24 hours. Mr. Combs also ensured he was intertwined with Miss Ventura's personal and social life, for instance, by inviting himself to Miss Ventura's 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. He also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting his celebrity status and influence in front of a young and impressionable Miss Ventura. Although Mr. Combs knew that Miss Ventura was in a relationship at the time, and even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Mr. Combs nevertheless pursued Miss Ventura. At an after party in a hotel suite following Miss Ventura's 21st birthday party, Mr. Combs pulled Miss Ventura into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. Miss Ventura did not consent to this unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom in the hotel suite and cried. She told her best friend at the time about what had happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. At the Video Music Awards the following day, so where was they at? They were at, what did they do? They were at another award and he did. Oh, this man is just, Diddy. At the Video Music Awards the following day, Miss Ventura's boyfriend at the time joined her and Mr. Combs at a table at the award ceremony. Mr. Combs became angry, telling Miss Ventura that the invitation to the award ceremony was only for her and not for her significant others. Why would her significant other not come to an award ceremony where she's going to be possibly awarded to support her? Why would they not come? Yeah. Mr. Combs lures Miss Ventura into a relationship. So number 10 was just explaining how, up until from her being 19 to 21, how he was after her. Okay, so that's through 21. Now, in this part right here where we are about to get to, Mr. Combs lures Miss Ventura into a relationship. Now, despite her clear rejection of Mr. Combs' advances, Mr. Combs continued to demand Miss Ventura spend time with him, including for a weekend at Mr. Combs' residence in Miami and for nights out in New York City. On one particular night around September 2007, Mr. Combs insisted on taking Miss Ventura out. Miss Ventura Okay, hold on, baby, because what is this word? Okay, I don't know what they was trying to say. On one particular night around September 2007, Mr. Combs insisted on taking Miss Ventura out. Miss Ventura pleased, or she I guess she agreed to go, fearing that rejecting Mr. Combs' request would have repercussions for her album deal with Mr. Combs and his company, Bad Boy Records. Mr. Combs picked up Miss Ventura from her apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. Miss Ventura was surprised that when she got into the car, Mr. Combs was already Hold on, babe. I'm finna look that word up. Inebriated. Hold on. What is that word, girl? This attorney. Hold on, babe. What's that word? Inebriated? Oh, baby, what is that word? Because I don't like to read stuff and I don't know what it means, baby. Because I need to understand what she's trying to say this mean indeed, baby. Hold on, y'all. Let me share this screen. Hold on, I'm gonna bring y'all over here with me, and we're gonna find out what the hell this word means. It means drunk and intoxicated. Okay. Was she trying to say he was intoxicated? Was you trying to say he was intoxicated, attorney? How do you it's a adjective. Okay, I don't know why he put that big old word in there. He could have just said fucking intoxicated. Okay, try to sound our professional shit. I'm gonna look up words. So I don't understand what the hell they mean. I don't just use Google for dumb shit. Anyway, he handed her a pill and told her to take it. When Miss Ventura asked what the pill was, Mr. Combs dismissed her and told her she would like it. She later learned the pill was ecstasy, something Miss Ventura had never tried before and did not want to try. This was the first time Mr. Combs got Miss Ventura high. Mr. Combs then proceeded to drive at very high speeds down the West Side Highway of Manhattan. Miss Ventura was very scared, but did not dare to object Mr. Combs, who appeared drunk, high, and agitated. Mr. Combs took Miss Ventura to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he proceeded to get into an altercation with the security staff who would not permit Mr. Combs to enter, presumably because he was belligerent. Miss Ventura decided to go home. But for the remainder of the night, Mr. Combs messaged Miss Ventura incessantly, complaining that she left him high and alone. In early fall 2007, Mr. Combs flexed his power and influence when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Miss Ventura. This fake posting allowed Miss Ventura to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get her away from her boyfriend by using the gaze of a legitimate event she had to attend. Miss Ventura was stunned at how easily Mr. Combs was able to recruit others to lie for him. Miss Ventura was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of her record label, and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions of her nascent career, Miss Ventura agreed to join Mr. Combs in Florida. During the trip to Miami, Mr. Combs provided Miss Ventura with copious amounts of drugs. She became more intoxicated than she ever had before, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. My sister-in-law told me one time she came to my house. I'll never forget. She came, knocked on my door. I was so surprised to see my sister-in-law because I hadn't seen my sister-in-law in a while. She said, sis, I just need to take a bath, eat, and lay down. Come on, sis, you know what it is. Her and my brother, they've been broke up at that time for about 15 years, right? But she raised us. She helped my mama raise us. You know, she always going to be sick. So, it's no biggie. Come on in. So she get in there, she take her bath. I done fixed her something to eat while she taking a bath. We sitting up there chopping it up. She told me, she said, sis, I don't know what that nigga gave me, but that dude gave me a pill so and I've been up 4 days straight. I ain't went to sleep. That is miserable to be up on some type of drugs that has you up for days straight. So I believe her. I believe what I just read in this lawsuit when she says that she was that whatever he gave her, it kept her up all weekend. During the trip to Miami, Mr. Combs provided Cassie with copious amounts of drugs. Where it say Mr. Combs in her name, I'm going to say Diddy and Cassie, okay? I'm going to say Diddy, Cassie. Y'all can see it. She became more intoxicated than she ever had before, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Diddy to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Diddy, urging her to take more drugs. After providing her with drugs, Diddy had sexual intercourse with Cassie during their trip. Within 2 years of meeting meeting Diddy, Cassie found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label and one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry. Mr. Combs exerts control over Miss Ventura's career and personal life. From the very start of their relationship, Mr. Combs exerted his power and influence over Miss Ventura. The dynamic was fueled by their nearly 20-year age difference, as well as their relative positions in the entertainment industry, with Diddy considered a music mogul and Cassie at the very start of her career as an entertainer. Diddy's aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Cassie soon learned that Diddy insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Sounds like Nicki Minaj much? Sounds like Nicki Minaj much? And what I read to y'all last night about why her and Ice Spice got into it, because she wanted this girl to sit up here and sign a record label deal with her and give her her publishing. Not only give her publishing, but give her third party publishing. She wanted all of that. Sound familiar, guys? Sound familiar? Sound familiar? I'm telling you. He wanted oh my God, these people in the industry, how do they make it to be so big with these evil ass ways? And people y'all just, these celebrities just new talent, just keep going. Y'all just don't, that's why y'all hate Cat Williams and Monique. Ooh. Hold on. Okay, from the very start of their relationship, Diddy exerted his power and influence over Cassie. This dynamic was fueled by their nearly 20-year age difference, as well as their relative positions in the entertainment industry, with Diddy considered a music mogul and Cassie at the very start of her career as an entertainer. Diddy's aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Cassie soon learned that Diddy insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Although Cassie had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Diddy ostentatious display of wealth and interior was intimidating to her. Repeatedly tell Cassie, "Don't worry about money. I have money." Diddy expensed lavish vacations for him and Cassie, purchased her car, paid her apartment bills, provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. Sounds like Young Miami, shall we? Sounds like so Carisha, you getting the Cassie and the Kim Porter treatment. Around 2008 or 2009, Diddy began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for Cassie. The apartment was within walking distance from Diddy's New York residence. He first showed Cassie the apartment by bringing her there along with her parents. Cassie's parents were skeptical of the mogul's displays of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. Around 2010, Diddy similarly paid for an apartment for Cassie in Los Angeles, which was located about 5 minutes away from Mr. Combs' residence. So, Miami, Young Miami, do you live 5 minutes away from all of Diddy houses? Carisha, city girl, hey, I told him $200K a week with it. Girl, is your master? Are you like around the corner from your master so he can keep a close eye on your ass? Mm-hmm. 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 He paid for many of their apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2013 or 2014. All aspects of hold on, let me put my glasses back on. All aspects of Cassie's life were controlled by either Diddy or his management companies. Every event Cassie attended, from the travel to the makeup and clothing, was paid for directly by Diddy and his affiliated companies. Compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life, Diddy secured his control over the young and impressionable Miss Ventura by introducing her to a drug-fueled lifestyle and kept her complacent and compliant. Mr. Combs first introduced Cassie to opioids around 8 and would often have pills and other drugs out in the open, like candy. Upon information and belief, Diddy has been addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. At first, Cassie was given the prescriptions that Diddy received from a doctor in Miami, Florida. Eventually, when eventually when Diddy Eventually, when Diddy exhausted his supply of the pills, he demanded that Cassie procure prescriptions from this Miami doctor in her own name. Diddy also became deeply involved in Cassie's personal life, with his personal staff attending Cassie's day-to-day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, Diddy had Cassie personal medical records sent directly to his email address. You know, did you read? See, you did not read this lawsuit, Tisha Campbell's sister. The man got some type of power if he is having her medical records emailed to his fucking personal her medical records, something that is protected up under federal government. Personal health information in HIPAA federal laws regulate protection of your personal health information where that's not supposed to be shared with anybody. So Gina's sister, Tisha Campbell's sister, that came out the day that this lawsuit hit the internet and spoke against this girl. I know you didn't read this lawsuit, because did you just read that? That is somebody with true power and influence. That is somebody that I wouldn't be too like, yeah, I wouldn't watch how I moved with a person like that. For instance, when Cassie began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug or head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beatings, as described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. So you knew you was beating this girl excessively and causing her brain damage, and because you was beating her and causing her brain damage, that was the whole reason why you wanted the medical records, Diddy. You wanted them medical records to cover up the fact that all them blows to that girl head allegedly, according to what's in this lawsuit that she told this attorney, he dragged it up and many 5-syllable words that he could to try to confuse the motherfucker. You requested this girl fucking medical records being emailed to you because you knew that her possible memory loss could have something to do with the fucking drugs you was stuffing in her brain every day and the beats you was delivering to her. And Tisha Campbell, sister, has the nerves to come out and sit up and say that this girl just could have said no. I don't know. When they say stand for something or fall for anything, you hoes don't fail for this. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for this generation. I feel sorry. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Did y'all just read that? No, for real. I want y'all to really understand what this attorney is saying. He said, for instance, when Cassie began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug use and or head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beatings, as described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. How the fuck her MRI results are provided directly to Mr. Combs, her personal PHI? Have you guys heard of HIPAA? Cassie, you should have sued that goddamn doctor and took his license. That's who you need to sue. You should have sued this doctor and took their license. They whole practice never even need to be allowed to practice medicine again. Whoever that doctor is, you should have went after their ass. Mr. Combs also repeatedly arranged for her staff to drive Cassie to certain doctor's appointments. Woo-wee. In this way, Diddy exerted ownership over Cassie as another example of the ways in which he manipulated Cassie and ensured obedience. Early on in their relationship, he asked Cassie what she called her grandfather. When Cassie said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, Diddy perversely insisted that Cassie referred to him with that nickname. You sick. So, ooh, do you know how many places that could go? So, would you want? Is she fucking her Pop Pop? Did she ever fuck the Pop Pop? You asked this woman, what did she call her grandfather? She said, oh, I call him Pop Pop. Call me Pop Pop. Do you know grandfathers that fuck their granddaughters? Because you was fucking Cassie. So why do you want to be called the name that she called her granddaddy who was not fucking her? You's a sick bitch, Diddy. Baby, you's a sick son of a bitch. You're sick, baby. I'm sorry. And all you motherfucking Diddy lovers and followers, I'm sorry. Your master is sickness. That bitch is sick. What's the lie? Call me Pop Pop. What you call your grandpa Pop? I'm going to be called Pop Pop. That's just like that Storm lady said that when she used to spank Donald Trump ass with that magazine, he used to talk about his little girl. He used to call out his little girl name. Baby, she got on that motherfucking stand, baby. Allegedly, according to what they seen, girl, it was on the stand, but allegedly, baby, that Storm, girl, y'all. Okay, let me keep going. Mr. Combs. And hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me check and see if y'all over here talking to me or writing any comments. Ain't nobody commenting or talking to me. Okay, no comments yet. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm communicating with my audience, but no comments yet. Okay. Okay, Diddy and Cassie relationship becomes violent and abusive. Okay, what started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol-fueled parties, however, quickly turned frightening and violent. Cassie was also exposed to the intense violence that pervaded Diddy's rise to fame. For example, on one occasion when Diddy and Cassie were using drugs together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Diddy began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Suge Knight was dining. Cassie became terrified and began to cry. I don't believe that. I don't know about that. Did he rolling? Oh, did he have? Oh, okay, I believe it. Yeah, because he had his security. But him rolling up by himself, I wouldn't believe that. But yeah, him rolling up on Suge security, that I believe. That I can believe. On at least two occasions, Diddy demanded that Cassie hold his gun in her purse. Cassie had no familiarity with guns, no familiarity with guns, and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Diddy required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Mr. Combs would violently beat Miss Ventura, leaving bruises on her body. After every instance in which he beat Miss Ventura, Diddy used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of abuse, including by hiding Cassie in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. In one such instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Diddy beat Cassie repeatedly in an Escalade, including by kicking and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on Fifth Avenue in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab and get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing there was no one she could tell about what had happened at the hands of this incredibly powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in her apartment. In January of 2009, after Diddy learned that Cassie spoke to another music manager at a party in LA, he became enraged. She had hoped speaking to this manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Diddy would be happy for her. But instead, he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car leaving the club, Diddy beat Cassie, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. Diddy's security staff, Roger Buns, tried to stop the beating but was unable to de escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Diddy's residence, Cassie attempted to run away, but Diddy followed her and proceeded again to kick her in the face. Cassie was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Combs' home, where she began to throw up from the violent assault. Upon recognizing the damage he had done and the physical evidence of his abuse, Diddy panicked and forced his staff to bring Cassie to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in LA, where she was required to stay for a week. During this stay, as her injuries from the beating healed, Cassie began to fully realize that Diddy's tremendously loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Diddy's behavior. She recognized that she was powerless and that reporting Diddy to the authorities would not alter Diddy's status of influence, but would merely give Diddy another excuse to hurt her. While in the hotel, she asked to go home to her parents, but Diddy wouldn't let her leave. She lied to her mother when asked about an online gossip forum that reported the assault. Diddy proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amounts of gifts for her, which were delivered to the hotel room where she remained trapped. Cassie was terrified, isolated, and unable to see a pathway out of Diddy's abusive hold on her life. She found herself becoming numb to the abuse she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Diddy's demands. She began to blindly follow his instructions out of fear of again being on the receiving end of a vicious beating. By Diddy's own admission, his relationship with Cassie was like Bobby and Whitney, a clear acknowledgement of the unequal power dynamic and excessive domestic violence and permitted permitted their relation permeated permeated their relationship from the outside looking in. Cassie had heard others refer to her relationship with Diddy as akin to Ike, as to Ike and Tina, her volatile and abusive partner who also owned her label and therefore held her future success in his hands, had fully exerted control over every aspect of her life. Diddy forces Cassie into ex trafficking. Within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with 40-year-old Mr. Combs, the 22-year-old Cassie felt beholden to his whims and demands. While in New York City, Diddy told Cassie that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Well, let's look that word up. Let's see what voyeurism means. What is the meaning of voyeurism? Let's see what that means, guys. Let's see what that means. What does that mean? The practice of gaining sexual pleasure from watching others when they are uncovered or engaged in sexual activity. Okay. Okay. So while in New York City, Diddy told Cassie that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Diddy said that it would turn him on if he saw Cassie with another pink. Mm-mm-mm. The first time Diddy hired a man and brought the man to his home in LA. The man, Mr. Combs, the man, Diddy, and Cassie wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Miss Ventura to perform actual acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He masturbated while he directed Cassie and the men to do specific actual acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak off or a FO. He would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura at random moments that he wanted a FO, and Miss Ventura and Cassie was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male ex workers. It sounds like Carisha. At certain points during Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on an FO weekly. Diddy would repeatedly tell Cassie that this practice was our thing and our secret. FOs would often take place in the hotel suites, in, included, including the Trump International Hotel in Columbus Circle. The Hermitage Beverly Hills, the London Hotel in LA, the Intercontinental Century City, the Intercontinental Atlanta, all these high-end hotels, honey. On the occasion around 2013, Mr. Combs had an FO set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars in damages by the hotel. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel. Ms. Ventura was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find male sex workers to participate in the FOs. Mr. Combs told Ms. Ventura to search for the large black penises on the website. Diddy, I repeat, Diddy, what in the tire in the fuck is wrong with you? So you, ooh, so you wanted big black penises going up in your woman, so you wanted her to be ran through? Oh my God, you Diddy, you must got okay. Oh my God, this is sick. Large black penises. He instructed her to look for the ones specifically that were big black, large black penises. Is what this is saying. If that don't sound disturbing to y'all, I don't know what does, because that sounds very disturbing to me that a man. Yeah, you did it. Why don't you just come out and tell the world that you're part of the Rainbow Coalition? Just tell us. That's how you have to do. Sometimes Diddy would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, including to multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He required Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements. Diddy assistants would help to set up the FOs, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. Diddy always supplied Cassie and the ex-workers with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Cassie was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Cassie was required Cassie was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO, and Diddy insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to have sex with her. During the FO, Mr. Combs would instruct Cassie to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself. Diddy would then instruct Cassie and sex workers to speak to each other, and then would specifically tell Cassie where to touch the ex-worker. Mr. Combs would say things like, grab that big black dick and ask her how does it feel, as he directed her to perform for him. As he directed her to perform for him. Diddy, you are a sick motherfucker. Just in case no one told you, I'm telling you. I'm saying it to you. You sickness, P sickness. That's what we're gonna call you. P sicky. P sicky. So you not only wanted her to go get the biggest, blackest penises that she could find, but you gonna tell your woman, grab that big black peen. Then you gonna tell the sex worker, ask her how does it feel. Okay. During the FOs, in addition to directing Cassie in masturbating, Diddy would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Cassie having sex with the hired ex workers. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. While Mr. Ventura quickly deleted any photographs or video of XX if they were taken on her phone. While Cassie quickly deleted any photographs or video of X if they were taken on her phone, Mr. Combs repeatedly made clear that he retained many videos of Cassie during FOs. Even when she deleted the videos, Mr. Combs would tell Cassie that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and the immense power he held over her. Diddy would pay the male ex-worker a few $1,000s in cash for their services. During some FOs, Diddy would become extremely intoxicated and would hit Cassie in front of the male workers. Cassie was repulsed by Diddy's demands, but between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible temper, Cassie became petrified of her partner and boss and felt that she would not say no, that she could not say no. He even would present her with lavish gifts prior to or in the middle of the FO, seemingly acknowledging the ways in which these forced sexual encounters constituted work for Miss Ventura, and he needed to compensate her for this work. At one point, he had given her so many designer bracelets for FOs, and immediately following his brutal beatings, that she felt that she was shackled by his presence. You were. Frequently, her anxiety before an FO would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of vomiting. While kneeling over the toilet, Mr. Combs would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. She knew firsthand that telling Diddy that she did not want to engage in a FO was met with anger and violence. In addition, any suggestion that Cassie would refuse the FO or otherwise report Diddy's abuse was met with ultimatums by Diddy, who would say that Cassie could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. Around August 2015, for example, in the middle of a surprise birthday dinner for Cassie's 29th birthday, Diddy insisted that Cassie leave the party and go to a hotel for an FO on her birthday. On her birthday, a FO on her birthday, to get fucked off on her birthday, to get freaked off and fucked off on her birthday by a big black goddamn stallion horse. Diddy, you's a son of a bitch, ain't you? Woo-wee. On the girl's birthday, she had to go to a hotel for a F-off, a freak off, a fuck off. When she expressed that she did not want to go, Diddy had Cassie cornered by his security staff in order to force her to leave with him. After the FO, Diddy and Cassie went back to the hotel room that Cassie was staying in, where some of Cassie's friends were already hanging out. Diddy was severely intoxicated and at one point during the night Mrs. Picked up one of Cassie's friends like a child and dangled the friend over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel. So you just randomly, because you was drunk and high and feeling like the big old powerful geek that you are, you decided to just pick this woman up and dangle her over the patio of the 17th floor of like a child, picked up the friend like a child and dangled the friend over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Cassie and her friends were scared by Diddy's erratic behavior, but Cassie was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in the FO and therefore was unable to respond to Diddy's terrifying behavior. The FOs became work for Cassie, and despite her protestations, Diddy insisted on these intricately staged and forced sexual encounters between Cassie and various male ex-workers. Cassie tries to escape Diddy's abuse. Anytime she tried to create distance between herself and Diddy, he used his networks to find her and convince her to return back to him. On multiple occasions, Diddy sent his employees to lure Cassie back. In 2011, during a rough patch in Diddy's and Cassie's relationship, Cassie had a brief relationship with musician Kid Cudi. When Diddy returned from a trip, he demanded another F out of Cassie. She a please, I guess. I don't know what she a quays. I don't know what that word is. During the FO, Mr. Combs found Cassie's phone and found emails between her and Kid Cudi. Diddy became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between his fingers and launched. Oh, so you know what he wanted to do? Because Gene Deal said on the interview that when he was with Kim Porter, he was, I guess, allegedly he was jumping on her one day, and Kim Porter got that corkscrew thing and cut his ass up and almost hit a main artery. And that's when he started taking painkillers because of the injury from Kim Porter slashing his and gushing his ass with that corkscrew. And the pain was so intense that they had to give him, high level tiered pain pills. And that's how he got addicted to heroin and all that kind of stuff. So you tried to do the Kim Porter on her. You took this corkscrew and Cassie ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's home to escape Diddy's wrath. Soon thereafter, one of Diddy's staff members told Cassie that he needed to just talk to Cassie, that he needs to just talk to Diddy, even though Diddy was enraged. Feeling like she could not escape Diddy in his network of enforcers, Cassie returned to Diddy. He hit her several times and then kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where her mother took pictures of the bruises Diddy had left on Cassie's body. In February of 2012, during Paris Fashion Week, Diddy told Cassie that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. Kid Cudi came out when his lawsuit was dropped and said that did happen and that was true and that she was not lying. Cassie was terrified as she began to fully comprehend that Diddy was both willing and able to do those he believed had slighted him. In 2015, Cassie spoke to a popular music manager at an after party in a hotel suite in LA. Diddy saw her speaking to this manager, sternly told her to step into the bedroom or join in the suite. In the bedroom, Diddy beat Cassie severely. She ran from corner to corner of the room, trying to avoid Diddy's beating and kicking. Hold on. In 2015, Cassie spoke to a popular music manager at an after party in a hotel suite in Las Vegas. Y'all people in the industry are just evil. Y'all heard all this going on in this hotel, and y'all just evil, man. When she tried to lock herself into the bathroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked her while she curled up under the toilet. Her screams were drowned out by loud music playing in the outside area of the hotel suite. When Diddy, head of security and assistant, saw Cassie after the assault, they began to cry. Cassie had two black eyes, a burst and bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead. Upon seeing the results of his vicious attack, Diddy immediately took steps to conceal his wrongdoing. He forced Cassie to stay at his home in Humbly Hills along with one of his sons. While there, Diddy FaceTimed Cassie and stated, "You gotta go up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that." She didn't she put makeup on per Diddy's demands. Cassie felt that she had no choice but to obey her abuser, even though security guards, assistants, and friends saw the situation she was in. No one dared to help her to speak up on her behalf. She therefore had no choice but to remain subservient. Later in 2015, while shooting a movie in Cape Town, South Africa, Cassie began a flirtatious relationship with an actor. She spent New Year's Eve with the actor, but Mr. Combs soon found out. Diddy called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Cassie and tell her, "You really need to call Diddy." Allegedly, the actor was Terrence Howard, I think. Allegedly. In or around March 2016, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel, Century City, Los Angeles, Diddy became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, Cassie tried to leave the hotel. Cassie tried to Cassie 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 tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Diddy awoke and began screaming at Cassie. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took her glasses. I can't. I'm live. Um, he followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took glass bases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran into the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away would cause Diddy to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, Cassie returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her abuser. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Diddy beating Cassie and throwing glass at her in the hallway. Upon information and belief, Diddy paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. After this, Cassie left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Cassie down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Diddy's phone calls. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Diddy even convinced one of the attorneys to call Cassie. At this time, this lawyer told Cassie that it's in your best interest to call Diddy back. Each time Cassie tried to run away, Diddy and his powerful network would force her back to him. Diddy's tight hold over her life irreparably damaged her friendships around 2018 when Miss Ventura was her When Cassie was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house, Diddy used his key to Cassie's house and came in unannounced. He and Miss Morgan had an altercation, during which Diddy threw a hanger at Miss Morgan. Upon information and belief, the incident resulted in a settlement between Diddy and Miss Morgan, and Miss Ventura ended up paying Miss Morgan additional funds in attempt to resolve the dispute between her close friend and her abusive, controlling boyfriend. The relationship between Cassie and Miss Morgan has been strained since this time. Seeing the extreme measures, hold on, y'all, just one moment. Okay, I'm back. And I'm better. Okay, I know my J. Calhoun. This man ain't right at all. This man is not right in the head at all, son. He is not. Mm-mm. Okay, okay. Seeing the extreme. Go back there in your room. Go back there in your room. Baby, can you come get him? Where's y'all brother at? So he take y'all outside in the sunlight. Okay. Seeing the extreme measures Diddy took to keep a tight hold on Cassie and isolate her from her support network, and having experienced the repercussions of rejecting his demands, Cassie felt that saying no to Mr. Combs would cost her something: her family, her friends, her career, or even her life. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. This is sad. Okay, this is the next section. It says Mr. Combs grapes Cassie. By 2017 and 2018, Cassie became desperate to leave Diddy in his abuse of her. She recognized that if she stayed with him, she would never be able to have a successful career ever, or ever be physically and mentally safe. She therefore became determined to completely break away from Diddy in his cycle of abuse, and made concerted efforts to avoid him. In September of 2018, she joined Diddy for a dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, California, for what she believed would be a discussion about concluding their relationship for good. After dinner, Diddy and Cassie returned to Cassie's home, which was paid for by Mr. Combs. Sit on this side right there, boo boo. Diddy forced himself into her apartment and tried to kiss Cassie. She told him to stop and attempted to push him away. Diddy then forcibly pulled off Cassie's clothing and unblocked and unbuckled his belt. He proceeded to grape Cassie while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Soon thereafter, Cassie took steps to completely separate herself from her longtime abuser, including by leaving the home that he paid for and returning the car he purchased for her. Despite moving away, Cassie address was posted online in early 2019, leading to fears for her safety. Cassie, who was under, you want to go play? You can go back there. That way you don't have to be quiet, okay? Because if you come up here, you have to be quiet, okay? Go in your room and play with it. Cassie, who was under immense duress during the months after Diddy raped her, took all steps possible to entirely remove herself from her abuser's ambit, including by entering into contracts to end her record deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. Mr. Combs' actual and physical abuse of Cassie has caused her lifelong harm. As a result of the immense trauma Cassie endured for over a decade with Diddy, she has suffered and continues to suffer from immense emotional distress. Following her escape from the cycle of abuse and ex trafficking she endured, she struggled with the physical and mental manifestations of her trauma. The birth of her two children, however, allowed her a new lease on life and gave her purpose. She credits her children with saving her from the trauma that had consumed over her life for a decade. Except for the months when she was pregnant with her children, Cassie struggled with her addictions to drug and alcohol addictions that were established and fueled by Diddy. She turned to substances to drown out the memories of her abuse. Without being intoxicated, she suffered from horrific nightmares of the forced sexual acts that Diddy demanded she participate in during the regularly scheduled FOs, and of the physical beatings that she endured throughout their relationship. She had difficulty eating or sleeping, and her relationships with her family suffered. During this time, she frequently had thoughts of ending her life. To rebuild her life and her career, Cassie needed to completely reinvent herself. She checked herself into inpatient treatment at a rehabilitation center, where she first confronted the extent of the trauma she lives with. She has required intensive therapy and other medical care to recover from Diddy's abuse. And she will forever live with the physical and psychological repercussions of the over a decade of violence, fear, and exploitation she endured. Although Cassie was unable to speak up against the years of the abuse she endured at the hands of Diddy. If you want to play and make noise, I have no problem with it. I told you, you have to go back there. I cannot have you up here doing it. Can you get down and go back there? Thank you. She has required intensive therapy and other medical care to recover from Diddy's abuse, and she will forever live with the physical and psychological repercussions of the over decade of violence, fear, and exploitation she endured. Although Cassie was unable to speak up against the years of abuse she endured at the hands of Mr. Combs, she has since been able to rebuild her life and confront her trauma. Thanks to the passage of New York's Adult Survivors Act and California's Sexual Abuse Accountability and Cover Up Act, she is now ready and able to also confront her abuser and to hold him and those who enabled his abuse accountable for their actions. First cause of action: ex trafficking under 18 USC 11591. Plaintiff repeats and realleges each and every allegation in all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. Plaintiff is a victim of ex trafficking within meanings of 18 USC 1591A and B, and is therefore entitled to bring a civil action under The defendant acts and omissions taken separately and or together as outlined above constitutes a violation. Specifically, defendant Sean Combs perpetrated ex trafficking of Cassie by requiring her to engage in enforced sexual acts in multiple jurisdictions, and all defendants benefited from Diddy's venture by holding Cassie and artists signed with defendant Bad Boy Records and otherwise employed by other defendant Doe corporations captive to Mr. Combs' demands and desires. At all relevant times, defendants participated in and facilitated the harboring and transportation of plaintiff for purposes of induced by force, fraud, or coercion. I'm sorry, coercion. You know how you coercion. You know how you coerce somebody into something. That's what that word is saying. The defendant corporations have financially and otherwise benefited as a result of these acts and omissions by keeping Diddy, the volatile and explosive owner of the defendant corporation, satisfied. They benefited from facilitating his behavior to the extent if kept the mercurial 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 music mogul happy and kept Cassie obedient to Diddy in the corporation's interest. Defendant Combs and defendant Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Entertainment, and Doe Corporations 1 through 10 formed a venture as defined up under Section 18 USC 1591. Given that they constituted a group of two or more individuals associated, in fact, whether or not a legal entity, as a direct and proximate result of defendant's unlawful conduct, as alleged herein above, plaintiff has suffered physical injury, severe emotional distress, and anxiety, humiliation, embarrassment, post-traumatic stress disorder, economic harm, and other consequential damages. Plaintiff also seeks reasonable attorney fees as provided under 18 USC 1595A. Second cause of action, violation of the New York Services of Victim Human Trafficking. So this your second violation. See, this what got you picked up. This what got his house raided right here. This is why Homeland Security, who investigate these type of crimes, human victims of human trafficking. That's what got that house raided. This violation, this second cause of action in this civil lawsuit. So to all you male identified mammies and you predatorial men that were continuing to say, why they didn't press charges? Why they didn't counter police? She just wanted the money. She should have got the money. She should have got it. And it was good she got the money and left his butt out long enough for everybody else to come up against him and start collecting their cho-chos on his ass. I'm happy she got his money. Fuck him. She should have went for the money. What else is she supposed to be going for? Baby. And she opened the box up to Pandora's motherfucking box on his ass. And that's why they went in there and raided that bitch. That's why they raided that bitch. That's exactly why he got raided. That is exactly why they raided that house, because of this right here. Because Homeland Security, I don't think they okay. Because of the first and second call. Okay, hold on. What does the third call say? Everything in this lawsuit, the third cause says violation of California Trafficking Victims Protection Act. The fourth cause, battery, actual. Okay, this is not something that Homeland Security would cover. They don't do actual battery under. I believe that Homeland Security steps in when it's human trafficking. Let's see. What does number 5 say? Actual assault pursuant to the California Actual Abuse and Cover-up Accountability Act. That wouldn't have anything to do with Homeland Security. Baby, all this stuff. Hold on. Get back up here. Hold on, y'all. Let me go through it. I'm gonna read all of that. So we were on the second cause, right? Okay. So according to the second cause, plaintiff repeats and realleges each and every allegation in all of the preceding paragraphs as it fully set forth herein. Plaintiff is a victim of ex-African within the meaning of New York penal law and is therefore entitled to bring a civil action under New York. The defendant act and omissions taken separately and or together is outlined above. Okay, let me see. Cassie, by requiring her to engage in forced sexual acts in the state of New York, and all defendants benefited from Diddy's venture by holding Cassie in order signed. Okay, I read that. Okay. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's unlawful conduct as alleged here in above, plaintiff has suffered. Okay. Plaintiff repeats and realleges each and every allegation in all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. Plaintiff is a victim of ex-trafficking. Plaintiff repeats and realleges each and every allegation in all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. Plaintiff is a victim of ex-trafficking within the meaning of California Penal Code 236.1 and if therefore entitled to bring a civil action under California Civil Code. Now, to all you hoes that was wondering why she want the money, you see these penal codes. I'm reading it for y'all so y'all can start sounding dumb. To the people that be in the background sounding dumb, I'm reading it for y'all. So when you say, hey, the law says she can. The law says she can up under Civil Code 52.5 and Penal Code 2236.1. There was no penal codes that allowed him to do all of the things that he did to this woman, human trafficking her, beating her, abusing her, exploiting her. There are no penal codes that covers him to legally be able to do that, but there are penal codes that covers her to legally sue him for all her pain and suffering and damage that he caused her. I don't know what the fuck. You know what I think? Y'all bitches in the hood that fuck with niggas that's beating y'all ass and they doing all this excessive stuff, start suing them. Sue them. Sue their ass. Sue their ass. Sue their ass. Sue them. The defendant's acts and omissions taken separately and or together as outlined above constitute a violation of California Civic Code 52.5. Specifically, defendant Sean Combs perpetrated ex-trafficking of Cassie by requiring her to engage in forced sexual acts in the state of California. And all defendants benefited from Diddy's venture by holding. It's the same thing. She's saying that it's the same thing, baby. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't know what y'all want me to do. There go the lawsuit for you, baby. There it go. There go the lawsuit. There goes the lawsuit, boo-boo. I don't know what else to tell the general public. I don't know what to tell people. I don't know why everybody is ruffled. Their feathers are ruffled. Like, I'm not sure. Like, what's the big deal? He did the crime and, now he's going to do the time, and he shouldn't have this lavish lifestyle. He shouldn't be this respected mogul in Hollywood that everybody should be in fear of or bow down to. God say, fear no man but me. So how the fuck you going to come in the world and inflict fear on people when God clearly tell us, fear no man but me. Fear no man but me. But yes, guys, that's the entire 35 pages of the lawsuit as promised that I was going to get on here and read it for you guys. I think Diddy is trashy as hell. I'm happy that she filed this lawsuit. And I'm happy that this lawsuit opened up the gates of hell for him. And that Pandora's box got leashed out on his ass with all this negative behavior. And it's people that's from a certain generation. I believe, in my opinion, my theory, that, hey, we probably feel as though he's probably not going to go down for all of that human trafficking, because in order for him to go down, it would be too many high profile people that they would have to take down with him. But what they will do is get him. They're going to get him for something. They're going to get him for something, because all of that acting like, oh, nothing is going on and I'm just out riding my bike with CBJ. You releasing old music videos of you running from the FBI and all that. You think those non-black law enforcement did not see your bold, aggressive arrogance? And then you keep on telling all these celebrities to come out. I better speak up. Just know that your silence, I'm gonna take it as, you didn't support me, baby. Nobody needs to speak up for you. Some of the people you ask me to speak up for you, you done blackmailed them probably. Done had them in the room on the freak off and videotape them. And see, now people don't have to support you and give into your blackmail, but Meek Mill, for some reason, he is. I don't know why Meek Mill standing so hard in the field, baby. But he's standing a little bit too hard for me in support of you. But y'all leave y'all comments and thoughts down below. Let me know what you thought about the lawsuit in the commentary. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share the video. And again, until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Real Convo. Goodbye.